Hello and welcome to my video. In this video I'm going to show you a floor placer I designed recently. So first let's talk about floor placers in general. Currently the best way to place floors in Minecraft is to use this kind of floor placer. So we have a semi-stationary player. We have a water stream that delivers the placed items to the player. Player places the blocks here and they get moved to the other side of the floor. After the layer is done, the floor placer moves one block in that direction along with the player. This approach is very good. The technology has progressed so much that this 4-game-tick floor placer is very compact. But still, if you want to make, for example, a 1000 wide floor placer, making it would require a lot of effort. However, with the introduction of item shadowing, you don't really have to worry about supplying the items to the player. It all happens automatically, which is why I designed this thing. We have a 100% movable player, which places the blocks at a 14-game-tick interval. It's way slower than the 4-game-tick floor placer I showed a bit earlier. However, this is literally all you need to build. Those two stations can be literally thousands of blocks away from each other, so the build effort is pretty much minimal. There is one big catch though. Right now there is no way to give a shadowed item to a bot, which means the player placing the blocks has to be actually a real player. Which at first posed a real challenge. Because if we are dealing with a real player, we are also dealing with connection issues. So if we are placing blocks like that, there would be a high chance that eventually the player would skip a block, which means that eventually we would have random blocks missing, which isn't really good. Which is why this floor placer is detection based. So if I make this bot stop, the floor placer stops. It's all detection based. Right now I'm using a bot in creative mode, but obviously in survival you would just use, for example, your alt account, because as I said earlier, you can't give a shadowed item to a bot. However, you actually can make yourself use at an interval, so at least you don't have to hold your mouse button all the time. Also, don't take this floor placer too seriously. It's mostly just a concept. A lot of things here can be improved. For example, the floor clearance right now is 4 blocks, and the station width is far from ideal. Alright, so how do you use this floor placer? First of all, you need to set up the item shadowing, so head to your local update suppressor and do the thing. Unlock the hopper, and make sure you have a lot of pistons. Then you can go to the actual floor placer, sit in the minecart, look directly at the observer, and make yourself use at 14-game-tick interval. And here we go, it works.